You're not wrong. So I'll do two things. Is I'll give you the quick base tour. So this is our katana bed. We are on default apocalypse loot, so I haven't done anything like turned it up to often or anything like that. That is just when you've killed almost 45,000 zombies. If you think about it, at 10 months you typically find what, 1-2 katanas on normal game settings. Well, if I'm getting 16 times as many zombies, do the math. So yeah, we are currently up to 21 katanas on the katana bed, I believe. I've got 5 sinks in here. All of those are plumbed to water containers on the roof. I have a water dispenser here. It doesn't really matter. We've got our fantastic art here on the wall. It does nothing. It's just pretty. And Dr. Ellen Ennis has 4 doctorates. And I can even confirm their doctorates by saying pick up. And you'll see a surgeon degree certificate. So, Dr. Ellen Ennis has 2 just generic doctor certificates, and then 2 certificates of surgery. For most people, that takes per certificate about 8 years and then a residency. In Dr. Ellen Ennis's case, she just walked into the pharmacy with a crowbar. Several crushed skulls later, she walked out with her brand new doctorates. We've got our big storage room here in the back where you'll notice each of these have an item sitting on top of the storage cabinet. That represents what kind of stuff is in it. So these are weapons that go on my back. These are weapons that go on my side. Guns, farming, medicine, tailoring, stuff like plaster, crap like nails and all that. We also had an antique stove there. We've got a farm. It just has a bunch of random plants. There's not a whole lot of strategy I have here other than more potatoes. But otherwise, not too much strategy. I'm going to grab one of these gas cans because our generator is getting a little low. We've got our wonderful generator out here. And the reason why the generator is at this position is we've got these 2 fuel pumps up here. So that generator is running those fuel pumps as well as our freezers. Yep, and the what we eat on this character is salad, 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 and fish. That is Dr. Ellen Ennis's diet. When Dr. Ellen Ennis needs to lose weight, we eat more salad. When she needs to gain weight, we eat more fish. And that is about everything that goes into it. Yeah, sometimes fish salad. And by that I mean, we take fish, we put it in a bowl, and we call it salad. I mean, the game also calls it salad, but we call it salad. We've got our watch gnomes. I wish I could turn the gnomes on the south side to face north, but that's just not a thing we can do, so this is the life we live on. Grab some more cabbage. Because the cabbage doesn't keep particularly long. We've got our flamboyance up here. So, you know, everyone needs a good flamboyance. So every time we see more flamingo, the flamboyance shall grow. And you can see the roof is just a flat roof with a whole bunch of rain barrels on it. We do quite frequently stand on top of zombies and prepare and eat our salads while standing on top of zombies. Mostly, I have a spiel I do probably 2-3 times a stream when I very clearly see that there's people new to Project Zomboid asking the basic questions of like, oh, well, how do you gain weight, or how do you fight multiple zombies? Like, you know, whatever new to the game questions you might run into, like how do I deal with water when, you know, the water's cut off, all that kind of stuff. Whenever I see that, I'll do the spiel. And you know what? We haven't done it this stream, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it because reasons. Alright, so first thing is I'm actually going to have Pankraru go and cash in those push-ups. So I'll do the spiel as soon as I'm done with the push-ups. So anyways, for people who are brand new to Project Zomboid, the first thing I'm going to suggest you do is before you really get into anything, hit escape, go to your options setting right here. That is weird that that still does that. Because I was aiming when I hit escape, I can still look around. I've never noticed that before. That is probably a bug. I probably shouldn't be able to do that. I could abuse that. Anyways, that's besides the point. So, when you first start, and this is especially true if you're having performance issues in the game, especially if it's not like right when you start the game, but like as you play more and more, you're like, hey, my frame rate's getting kind of choppy. It's not great. Look at this blood decals setting. Generally, if you're doing high pop runs or runs that go for a long time, or you're playing on a potato, you might want to consider taking this from, I believe it's at 100% by default. It doesn't matter what it is, and consider like none or 10% or turning it way down. What that is every time you kill a zombie, it goes splat, and there's a little blood splattered. Makes a little ambience in your world. It kind of shows where the fights have happened, and that's all cool. But there is no limit. Like, they never go away. They just keep getting more and more and more blood splats until eventually, no matter how good your computer is, sooner or later, it will start having a performance problem on your game. So if you are having that gradually, your frame rate's getting worse, this is one place to consider adjusting. ISO cursor visibility nowadays is just at 50%, but if you don't have it at 50 to 75%, I would strongly suggest keeping this that high, and I can show you what that is. It used to be much lower as default. It's no longer. It's good. Keep it up there. The shows mouse cursor while aiming. This is a preference thing. Some people like it, some people don't. But that means when I hold right mouse button, my cursor stays there. I will 100% say if you lose track of your mouse in Project Zomboid in a fight, you will probably die. So that can be very valuable to making sure the mouse is always there so you don't lose track of it. But the most important one of all of them is aim outline by default is on ranged weapon. I would highly suggest you change that to any weapon. And what that does is when you go up to a zombie, and you've got your weapon like ready to smack the zombie, the moment you get in range of that zombie, a big green outline will appear around them. And I know some people are like, but my immersion. Let me show you why that's important, even if you don't worry about immersion. So first, this ISO cursor, that little line with a circle on it, that's where I'm actually aiming. And you'll notice it's about the exact same height as the zombie. I'm not aiming at my mouse. I am aiming at that big stripe, that whole thing. Now, if you'll notice, when the zombie gets in range, a green outline. So if I smack it now, it's in range. And also, when you hit nibble 2, oh no, so sorry. You can just walk away from zombies. They're not a threat. You're faster than they are. Slow down. The game does not require rushing. So first I'm going to shove her over. And she'll not cooperate because they always do that when I'm showing. If you stand on a zombie, you've effectively taken them out of the fight until you get off of them. I can sit there and go, I'm a wee bit peckish. Let me just have a salad. It's fine. Oh, salad's all gone. That's okay, we'll make another salad. Oh, look, we've got company. Hey, how you doing, friend? You want to join the party? Alright, we can go back to making our salad. We're still hungry. I have not upgraded yet to the 41.66 build, because we are in the middle of a very long run. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I don't want to, because why do you keep doing this? Alright, either way, but you get the idea. Not a threat, and that's true if you are standing on the zombie or another zombie standing on it. I did have, not this one because I haven't done the upgrade because it's the unstable build and I'm in the middle of a really long challenge run, so I want to make sure it's not crashy before I do that. But, I did notice with the multiplayer run we were doing a really CDDA run. And so after the multiplayer drop happened, I was like, okay, let's update to the multiplayer drop. Let me just boot up the save file, like do nothing, just boot up the save file. Make sure it actually loads before stream. And when I loaded in, I actually loaded in, I had been in a bathroom with no window that we had cleared out the whole building and everything. And when I spawned in, I heard the zombie, and I loaded to my character shoving the zombie off them. I got lucky, and you know how you can... One thing that can happen is if you get attacked from the front, your character has a chance of shoving a zombie away without taking damage. But it's like, it's RNG, you cannot rely on it. And we just got lucky and that happened, so I immediately bludgeoned the zombie to death and then immediately exited out of the game because I'm like, crap, there's going to be like zombies outside, and I wasn't streaming then, I was just testing to make sure the game ran. And so it was like, if I would have died off stream, you know, that many months into a run, it would have been super upsetting. Hey, Vilestorms, how's it going? But yeah, so I did have, with the release, or the multiplayer update, where some zombies, I don't know if they respawned or they got, like, repositioned or reset or something. Like, I couldn't answer that question. But that did 100% happen to me with the multiplayer update when I switched from before multiplayer to multiplayer. That just zombies moved around in unpredictable ways when I went to load the save. So I couldn't treat any place I had cleared as safe because there was no way I could tell. Yeah, some other tricks with zombies is, like I said, kind of my pro tip for anyone who is new to the game. If I were to give you one piece of advice, it's slow down. You'll notice I pretty close to never run. About the only time I run is when, like, if I have a horde here and a horde here and they're both closing in and I need to go that way, I might run the 5-10 steps it is to just get ahead of their intercept so that they don't catch, like, they don't pinch me, that I can just run right through them and get to the other side. So I mostly only run to get around to intercepts, and that's about it. But yeah, there's like... The ways you die in Project Zomboid is either, one, you just misplay a fight in the sense, like, you miss a swing and you get grabbed, like, that you just have to keep fighting, keep learning, doing all that stuff, and there's stuff you can do to minimize the risk, like, again, most of the time you want to backpedal while swinging. Like, I'm not always the best at following my own advice, but generally if you're backpedaling while swinging, the chances of getting grabbed go way lower. Okay, here, we're actually getting a decent salad this time. Because the last couple salads, what I'll do is I'll keep doing that till I get the same ingredient twice. Because when you're making salads in this game, or any type of food in this game, the more different ingredients you put in your salads or food, the happier they'll make you. The more of the same ingredient you put in a salad, the less happy they'll make you. So, like, variety is the spice of life when it comes to cooking in Project Zomboid. Let me actually read that message. Xander saying, you might get zombies on their spawning location. If zombies spawned at the firehouse, they could have roamed close to the prison, and after the update, the zombie might be back at the fire station. It's not respawn, it's repositioning. It doesn't happen with all zombies every time. Yeah, I figured it was something like that, because, you know, when I first saw the zombie, like, in the building with us, I was kind of like, oh crap, you know, the zombies respawned, I'm in the middle of town on, like, on my really CDDA run. Like, we're going to have to abandon our supplies because I'm not going to be able to grab it and fight and do all this stuff. Luckily, it wasn't that. It was just like 2 or 3 zombies showed up in the area where I had cleared, and then we went about our way. But yeah, it was definitely a thing. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't updated. I kind of wanted to see what happened with people who updated. One of the good news is because we have set ourselves up in a base we built ourselves, I shouldn't have to worry about that kind of a concern. I mean, even better, I could put myself on the 2nd floor, so zombies would never spawn there. But, I want to give people a chance to give it at least enough a whirl before I change this channel. Like, I could see updating to it and then having a run we do for just a couple of days to try it out, and then going back to this run. And I mean, I could definitely back up my save. The thing I don't want to do, because I mentioned on stream, like, if I failed to back up my save, for example, and this shouldn't be a thing that can happen, but just totally forgot to, you know, back up my save and we lost like 11 hours worth of progress because of that, I would probably just quit the run. Like, because losing that time, like losing that kind of progress would just upset me. And like I don't mean progress in like getting pushed back from a town. That's fine. Getting pushed back from a town is non-issue to me. Because like I'm still killing the zombies. Ultimately, this number is the real progress of our run. If that number is getting bigger, progress is being made, even if like geographically I'm getting bullied around. Yep. Yeah, the class selection, or the occupation selection, is supposed to play into your XP you gain from foraging, as well as, from what I understand, is it's supposed to play into what, like, your character has a predisposition to find certain things more than others, based on their job selection. I don't know if that actually made it into the patch, but that wasn't what they were saying they were going to do. So, like, and this, don't take any examples I'm going to give you as correct, because I don't know. But let's say, like, a firefighter might have a higher chance of finding, like, axes and stuff like that, tools. A carpenter might have a better chance of finding nails. A farmer would have a better chance of finding, like, wild onions and that kind of thing. You get the idea. That was something they had considered. Which to me is kind of a crap thing, because, like, okay, well, what does unemployed get? Because I like having a non-specific build, and it would be nice for that non-specificness to have some minor advantages. Unemployed keeps finding money. Eek. Gotcha. So it doesn't have... Okay, so what I can't kill anyone is saying, it's not chance, it's easier to see them. So basically, if I have a predisposition to some item, I see it from farther away. Okay. That makes sense. That also feels way more balanced. And it would make sense, like, if you're a person who works with axes all the time and you see the handle of an axe, you'd be like, hey, that's an axe, versus, you know, another character might be like, oh, is there a thing there? Oh, I guess there is a thing there. They should have a bookstore owner as one of the occupations, that your advantage is you read faster or something. Or librarian or whatever. It's that, like, you have a faster read speed or something. It'd also be fun because you could have, like, a faster read speed, and, like, it would give you light-footed or something. You know, the whole librarians being quiet in the library kind of idea. Hey, Sugar, how's it going? We're not going to get that far because with between waking up late and the tutorial thing, we didn't start out at a reasonable time. What you are really missing is potato pancakes. Occupation prepper. So what would be the thing that you'd give the occupation prepper in a balanced sense? Because, you know, a prepper, okay, they should be able to find, like, water, food, tools, like all that kind of stuff. Maybe they have like organized as like a default trait on them by effectively where they just automatically have slightly higher inventory because the idea is they're used to packing stuff. Give retail worker high nimble, they're already used to walking around all... Eesh. Yeah. Hoarder, can't get rid of... Yeah. Oh man, could you imagine, like, have hoarder, so it's, if you do not have at least a certain % of your inventory full, you start suffering anxiety. Burnin' Suns says for the prepper, start with a whole bunch of stuff, but you have no idea how to use it. Sugar saying, I'm going to be joining a multiplayer server tomorrow and literally terrified of sprinters. I'm going to die instantly. The things because like I don't like sprinters. People ask me, it's like, so when are you going to do a sprinters run? And I've actually done 2 or 3 on stream. I don't like sprinters. To me, it's not a fun way of playing the game. Because, like, for me, Project Zomboid is about doing what you can to minimize risk, about planning, about being methodical and gradual. Like, it is not a game of reflex, moving fast, doing that kind of nonsense. But sprinters do kind of force that on you. But sprinters, it boils down to what you pull is your primary concern. If you mispull sprinters and you grab like 8 of them, yeah, you're probably gonna die. Like, there's things you can do to cheese to split them up to maybe take care of them, but you're probably gonna die. So being very, very methodical on your pulls. Sorry. Sorry. Being very, very methodical on your pulls is very important with sprinters. Like, 1 sprinter, fine. 2 sprinters, rough. 3 sprinters, unless you're cheesing a window or other tech, probably dead. The other things you can do with sprinters is you abuse stuff like fence tech, which when we're talking about fence tech, that's where you jump across the fence, draw the zombies, they pile over, you shove them as they go over the fence, and then you smash them. And the reason you shove them is once you've shoved them, they won't do that thing where they lunge across the ground. But it can be really rough when you have big groups of sprinters, because, you know, you smash the first one, you don't even try and engage the next one, you run around, you jump back over the fence, and you're basically just jumping back and forth to just kill one of them each time, or if they're nice enough to have enough gap to smash them. And you can do the exact same thing with an open window. And that's the reason I don't enjoy sprinters. It's just, you basically have to abuse shortcomings in the zombie AI and movement to deal with them if you pull anything else more than you're ready for. Or you have to have, like, multi-hit on and know how to abuse that kind of thing. So for me, that's more learning how to exploit the game's shortcomings than actually that. And it's, for people who enjoy sprinters, please don't take any of that as me going, oh, you're playing it wrong. If you're having fun, congratulations. You are playing the game correctly. But ultimately, that's not the kind of fun I like to have. I would like to have a war of attrition with the zombies. The thing that's supposed to make zombies threatening typically is numbers. There's one of you, there are thousands upon thousands of them. An individual zombie is super dangerous, but not super threatening. Like, it's dumb as a box of rocks. You can just abuse its AI. It's fine. But even if you can outsmart the zombies, if there's like 600 or 700 of them you manage to aggro by being, you know, blasting horns and all that, you will get yourself killed. If you put yourself in dangerous situations, you're going to get yourself killed. Versus sprinters, like 1 or 2 sprinters is both dangerous and very threatening very quickly. Like, for me, I think sprinters would be way more fun if, when you put it on the low sprinter settings, like, it was seriously 1 in 100 zombies as a sprinter. It's just very infrequently a sprinter would show up and, you know, you're fighting all the other zombies, you see the one start just booking it, and you go, that is the problem. Like, that zombie is the one I have to worry about. Versus, like, on its lowest setting, it's still, like, 1 in 10, which means pretty much every pack has 1 or 2 sprinters in it. You're just like, okay. At this point, you might as well make half the zombies sprinters. Yep, and I am aware, like, I probably could load, like, and this is a me thing, that I just don't do many mods, just in general. Like, I have informational mods I'll load. Like, technically I have weapon condition indicator installed, but I do actually have it about as disabled as can be at the moment, because I wanted to see how much I lean on it. I do have minimal display bars. You can see the little icon up here, but I am hiding all the bars at the moment to, again, see how much I lean on it. Because last week I was in Royale with Cheese TV's Twitch chat, and we were just chit-chatting about it. And we were just talking about, like, this run and everything. And he was basically kind of going, you know, how much do you lean on these mods with your short blades? Like, I wonder if you'd be able to do, like, nearly the same thing you do with short blades without your mods to let you know when you're getting close to exert and all that. And I'm like, I don't think, like, other than sleepy, knowing when I'm sleepy, I 100% lean on those mods to know when it's like, okay, it's time to start getting out of here. But I was like, I don't think I lean on them that much. Not that I don't look, not that it doesn't help. They do. but I don't think it's like an instrumental thing. And I've been feeling pretty good so far, but the one caveat I do have to give myself is this is on a character that's established now, versus when we're first starting a character, that information becomes far more valuable. Because recovering from exertion takes longer, and, you know, it's much faster to push yourself too far, all that kind of stuff. So I do think for the next run, me and him both talked about this, that he's going to do a One Painful Night challenge, as am I. Like, I'm going to do mine vanilla. I think he's going to do his vanilla. I don't know. It's up to him. I have not updated yet, because when you have when you update, you have a habit of the zombies resetting position, which can be problematic for what I'm doing. And then on top of that, it is the unstable build, and we are 10 months into a run. So I don't want to risk having anything happen with the stability or anything. Yeah, no, it's okay. Like, I know I only saw that the update happened like half an hour before we started stream, so I didn't get a chance to like properly look into anything. I probably will update at some point, but I want to kind of feel out what happens. And hey Lulu, how's it going there? Anyways, a new patch. With a new patch, you have an exact number for foraging radius, which is heavily exertion affected. Yeah, I'm doing good. Yep, no, I did see that there was a lot of changes to foraging, which is cool. I haven't actually been doing hardly any foraging on this character, just a little bit. Even car positions changed and yes. So like Blankshot is saying, like that happened to me when it was when I took like the multiplayer update when it first dropped, for example. A bunch of zombies got reset position on me, and it did almost get a character that we were mid-run, like 5-6 months into or whatever it was. Almost did die. We actually, when I loaded, my character was in a bathroom we had cleared and we had slept in. And when we loaded up, like I loaded up to see my character pushing a zombie off of them that was in the bathroom with me, where again there was no window and the door was closed, so the zombie had appeared in the bathroom with me. But luckily we rolled the really lucky RNG that the zombie had attacked us from the front and our character pushed the zombie off without taking a hit. You know, then I killed the zombie and I immediately closed the game because it was content I had been streaming and I was mostly just opening the game to make sure it still ran with the update. And so I didn't want to risk it. So you'll see the CDS rate is going down the more exert you get. In reverse, you'll also notice it get back up as stamina recovers from sitting. Excellent. I think that's good, because there was a lot of stuff that affects foraging, even before that update, like a lot of stuff that affects foraging, that the game does not do a good job of communicating. Like, wearing sunglasses affects foraging, wearing helmets affects foraging, and that is not communicated, as far as I've been able to find, anywhere here that even affects anything. I was under the impression full helmets had the most severe penalty, but like partial helmets, like the one I have right now, for example, isn't a full helmet that covers everything. I mean, it depends what you define as full helmet, but it did seem like almost any helmet that gives you any type of defensive property did negatively affect stuff, but to different severities. And then like generic hats didn't. Like, if I'm wearing a beret, it doesn't affect my foraging, but if I'm wearing a combat helmet, it does. Yeah, I don't know. Right, and that's the issue, is unless they change something in the new update, there's no real way of knowing whether or not, like, the game, like, I wish this was a thing. Then when I click on this, somewhere here, even if I had to mouse over, somewhere here it'd be like, hey, you know, your search radius or search power, whatever they want to call it, is 5. And then you put the helmet on, it goes, oh, now it's 4.8. Or whatever it is. I wish there was a way in-game that it would just tell you. That I wouldn't have to, like, open debug or anything else. Because, like, in real life, if I put on a pair of aviator sunglasses, I'm going to very readily recognize, oh, I can't see things in the dark nearly as much. Yeah. Or like on the item itself, you could, you know, put your mouse over the sunglasses and just like it says, you know, when I put on a leather jacket, it says, hey, this gets you to have 0.97 combat speed or whatever. That would also do the same thing where it's like, oh, this will have you have 0.8 foraging radius. Yeah, no, that's probably... I feel like they actually should have both, though. Like, the item does show you, like, there should be a place I can look at my stats in-game. It's like, here's the combat penalties you have right now. Because, like, one of the things I do have to explain to people when they start playing the first time is they'll look at these moodles and they'll be like, oh, like, you know, being exerted affects my accuracy, and, you know, but what does that mean? Like, how severe are you talking? It's like, no, you're talking like a 20-30% damage reduction. Like, being moderately exerted is very significant. It's not just like, oh, you take a 5% damage penalty. Okay, that's good. Awesome. As a question, when you did the unstable, if you opened an existing save file, did it do like multiplayer where it automatically did like a conversion on the save where there was a backed up version and then, you know, it made a new save file, or is it one of these ones where it's just it's gonna open it like nothing changed? Yeah, like there's some things I'm okay with the game being like the game doesn't communicate. It just opened it. Okay. That means before I would do the update, I would certainly want to back up my save file. Which is fine. Like that's literally the version before was called I will back up my save. Which means I have to even look up where I find my save files again. Because it's been so long. Alright, so I need to ditch some weight, get the axe out of here. Alright. And I'm going to turn this train around. We didn't make much progress, but that's just, we took too long getting on the road. It's fine. Gotcha. The downside is to do that update. One, I definitely want to exit the game. Obviously, because I can't install an update while the game is open. The other thing I definitely want to do is make sure everything. So what do people think? Do you want me to take like 2 seconds? And when I say 2 seconds, probably about a minute to exit out of the game, do the backup and update. Like the update will take no time. I have fiber, so like when I say 2 minutes, well, no, crap, I can't do that. I'm playing with a bunch of people multiplayer later. If I update, we won't be on the same versions. They'll all have to update, and where I have fiber, they do not. So I can't today do the update because that would mess up everything for them. But I can certainly look at doing the update for tomorrow's stream. Yeah, and I'm running very, very, very close to vanilla, Xandor. Yeah. Now, I think what I'll probably do is I'll probably back up my save after stream. I'll do the update. Make sure everything loads fine. And then assuming it does, the next day we'll do the update. That way, if, like, I load it and, you know, we get killed immediately when we load into the game, I just load up my backup, revert, that kind of thing. Okay. Well, that would be good, because that was one of the things that came up was Recrafted has a challenge run that came out before the multiplayer, before the forging rework, called Survivor Man Challenge. And I found from the update, it was almost non-viable. And the reason for that was the rules of that run where you could only use... You had like a little prepper kit that came with like an axe and a hammer and like 2 other things. So you had that kit. And you could only use weapons or tools in that kit as weapons or stuff you crafted yourself. Anything you found was a no-go. So like if I found an axe, not allowed to have it. I'd have to make it all. But when they had the foraging update, because of how long it takes you to get foraging to the point you can reliably make weapons, it became almost a non-starter. Yeah, and that's what I was figuring, Xandor, is backing up the save would be the more involved process. Because I do know the saves get pretty big. That'd be good, because I thought the, Right, yeah, Pan, it was just the issue was, like, foraging, and this is before the where they made the adjustments after the multiplayer, like right when multiplayer dropped, your ability to get what you need to craft weapons, like reliably enough to fight any real number of zombies, was absolute hell. So you had to either like turn down the zombies to nothing, at which point the challenge kind of lost a lot of the interest. But yeah, with that update, it sounds like the challenge will be back, because it was a cool challenge. Like, it wasn't... Right. You can't even use knives. Like, literally... Or I should take... I can't remember. I think... No, because you can craft knives, you wouldn't be allowed to use knives. You'd have to craft knives using the sharpened stone and branches. Like, that was the whole thing, is the idea was everything that you could get from the environment... You were to use the version from the environment, not from the city. And so, like, the rules were, by day 5, you must abandon whatever city you are in, and you are not allowed to live in a pre-existing structure. You can build a base. Crap. My finger got a little too close to another button. That'll be great for a truck. That's why we don't go super fast. But you're not allowed to use, a permanent structure that already exists. You have to leave the city after day 5, and you are living on the wilderness. Your primary source of water must be from the wild. Your primary sources of food all must be from the wild. They did say you are allowed to augment your food during the winter with some canned goods, but they should not be your primary source of food. That, like, you still need to be using hunger or whatever. Yep. Now, like, the challenge was really good before the multiplayer update, because it wasn't that you were never allowed to go back to cities. You weren't supposed to live in the cities at all, or any permanent structure. You had to basically sleep in something you built yourself, or a tent or whatever. Which is why they had, like, the prepper start kit. I think it gave you a saw or 1 or 2 other things that were really necessary to get your run going at all. So you got, like, an axe, a saw... I think a hammer, and that was your starting equipment. Maybe there's a screwdriver, I don't remember. So, like, I would be allowed to use a screwdriver or sledgehammer as a tool, or a crowbar as a tool to, like, pull up floors, but I would not be allowed to use it as a weapon per the rules of that challenge. But yeah, especially when you have, like, no maintenance, the amount of amount of crafted tools you'd burn through be... Wait a second, what was that? What was that? Oh, it's just light, never mind. I thought I saw a shimmer, like, in the front and got excited. I'm gonna have to work on resetting our sleep schedule. That way we actually get back out to the field without having to turn around because it's dark as fast. Because I don't even think this is as long a drive. Or I think the drive to Rosewood is a shorter drive than it was to Riverside. I guess there's less stuff between me and there. I probably, you know what I should actually do? Not this day in game because we're already this far committed to going back. I should clear one of the farmhouses along the way as a oh, right, we had... I'm sorry, I'm just forgetting. We had the boot camp we cleared. We actually had a place there that we could sleep in that we've already established. So instead of dropping all the way back here, I should have stopped at the boot camp. Alright, I am going to stop to kill these zombies. They are in town. We've already cleared this town. So people who return are not allowed to stay. Dark Strider cashing in some push-ups. I'll get those here in just a second. It's because you're all on top of it today. Oh, thick fog. Is that today? Is that today or tomorrow? Which day is thick fog? Tomorrow is thick fog. All right, that sucks. I still say we push tomorrow, and then we'll back out. Or rather, we'll push out today, and then we'll back out after that, just because of the thick fog. I don't want to fight zombies in that or drive around. And for those who are new, that's the automated emergency channel in-game. So, it is a good thing to find. You just have to look at all the different radios until you find the frequency. Every time you make a new world, you will have a different frequency. So, where mine is 102.2, don't bother looking at it. Yours will almost certainly not be the same. There's a tiniest chance you could just RNG the same one, but you know. Oh yeah. That is our flamboyance. I mean, what's a house without a good, good sizable flamboyance just waiting for him? Makes it really feel like home. Anyways, so Akekon the second